Greetings to you all watching this video. I hope you are all doing great. Okay, so this is the complete part of the outline of project chapters. In my previous video, I've outlined from chapters 1 to 3, and this is the complete part from chapter 4 to 5. Um, Join me as I proceed on this. So, before I delve into this chapter, the outline of chapter 4, let me just say that I perused some of the uh, chapter 2, that's the literature review, and I discovered that some of you guys are just defining the concept and listing out some of the probably the part of the subtopic. You're listing out some of the points. That is not actually what literature review connotes. When doing your literature review, when you are reviewing the concept, the variables that forms your research questions and hypotheses, or you're doing the empirical review analysis, so I expect that you do a thorough review. So I normally use this analogy that for instance, you are going for a meeting and unfortunately you got to the meeting late, and when you got there and they've already discussed most of the things they want to discuss, they are about to make decisions. So you got in and you tender your apology and you told them the reason for coming late, and afterwards you ask them what have they deliberated on, so that you can also make your little input before final decision is made. So each one of them now told you what they have said, and haven't heard from what probably maybe the five of them have said. You are the sixth person. You have heard from the five of them, and based on what they have said, just you are now making an input that, oh, since you have said it about this, you have said that, so this is what I think based on what you guys have said, and you just lend your voice to it, and by that you now make final decisions. So based on what authors have said, you are now trying to lend your own voice to it. You're now trying to lend your scholastic, you know, ideas to it. So whatever they have said, you are making your own input before making final, decision. So before you now recap what they have said and finally, review it. So that's just about literature review outline. So for this chapter 4, analysis of results and discussion of findings. So the data you have been able to gather, you want to analyze the data, you want to present the data, give us the results, and subsequently discuss your findings. So first, you must analyze the demographic data. You are going to present that using um, frequency tables, frequency count, and simple percentages. You can also include your measures of central tendency and dispersion, which is the mean and standard deviation, just to draw some, just to make a little inferences from the findings. So demographic analysis is important to present that. After which you move to your analysis of research questions. So from there, you now do analysis of research hypothesis before you do the discussion of findings. These 4 items must be included in your chapter 4 outline. You must not miss any one of them. If not, your chapter 4 outline, your chapter 4 is not complete. Demographic analysis, afterwards answers to research questions. You're going to present that with your frequency tables and simple percentages. and analysis of research hypothesis. Whatever statistical tool you want to use to analyze your hypothesis, that's if you have. Anyways, some in some researches you don't have research hypothesis, but mostly you have that. So you're going to analyze your research hypothesis, then based on your findings you now do discussion on it. On it. So this is very important for chapter 4 outline. Finally, you do your chapter 5. So, and this is the outline, the summary, the conclusion, and the recommendation. So, summary is the recap of from your chapter 1 to chapter 4, what you have been able to do, your research objective, your research questions, you state them, your findings, the methodology you use, you state them, and the summary of your findings, you're going to state them under the summary. This is very important. Then you conclude. Your conclusion should be based on your findings, what you have been able to arrive at, what your study is able to underscore. I mean, what you are trying to project based on your findings. So you want to conclude the gap you have been able to fill based on your findings. You want to conclude on that. And finally, your recommendations. Your recommendations must be based basically on your findings. You cannot go and bring up some recommendations that does not align with the findings of your study. So recommendations must align to the findings of your study. So basically, these are the 4 items that must be included in your chapter 5 to make it complete. So, and after your chapter 5, of course, in your appendix, after your chapter 5, your references must follow, then your appendices. Your appendices must contain your research instrument, must contain the consent letter and every other materials or whatever you have used that must be included in the study should be put on in your appendices. So, such as you may put figures, you may put some tables that will not fit into your main work. You may put them there, or some calculations you have done that will not fit into the main work. You can put them in the appendices and what have you. So these are the outline, the remaining part that I promised to show, and I hope you are able to learn one or two things. Thank you for your time.